Now, as you can see, it was quite wet when this was filmed. This is because they generally mop up the decks a little bit after this. This was filmed at about 6:30 in the morning. This is deck 17, where you have access to things like the ropes course and the sport court. Now, just a note for the ropes course, you are only allowed to attend the ropes course if you have nothing loose in your pocket. No cell phones, no wallets, nothing. So please be aware of this before you arrive. Also here, you can play giant Jenga and giant chess and other little board games. Spice H2O is one of my favourite areas on the ship. One side is okay for smoking, the other is not. They have some hot tubs here, they have a bar, and they have the big screen which they use for some sort of board game style events. This was generally quite quiet compared to the main pool, which I found surprising, and it was a really good place to sit, relax, and get a drink. They have a good range of games in the arcade, some of which are included in their arcade pass for kids, where they can have unlimited use of them, but all of the ones that actually dispense tickets for prizes are not included in this package, so do be aware of that. You just need to swipe your card to play the games, and there are quite a few ways to win tickets. The prizes do range from silly little things to bigger things such as board games and Bluetooth speakers and such, and there are games in there as well where you can win things such as iPads and stuff like that, so there are quite a few things to do. Now just outside the arcade is the American Diner. This is a specialty restaurant, very much open for short hours. I think it's just about 5 hours a day, serving your American classics such as burgers, milkshakes and such. There is a jogging track around deck 16 that is very handy. I personally used it every morning just to get a nice walk in before everybody else got up, got my exercise in, and also sort of kept me feeling fresh. And it was a great opportunity to get some good views of sailing in and out of ports. If you do want to use the pool or any of the slides and things like that, you can get some towels. The towel hut is open most of the time. It's the same opening hours as any of the pools and the hot tubs. You just need to give them your room number and make sure you return the towels. Also on deck 15 are the Mandara Spa, the Barbershop for men, and also Pulse, that's their fitness suite, including gym and free weights. It's really well designed, the layout is great, and as you can see, it looks a little bit more upmarket than the rest of the ship potentially, and I like how the gym for fitness and cardio is separated from the gym for weights and resistance. It just meant that everybody was spread out and all of the protocols were able to be kept. Just a word for warning, the pool is not heated and it can be a bit of a shock to the system as it is quite cold when you get in, but you'll soon adjust. The hot tubs as well are currently limited to 4 people at a time, and it does state on here that should be a maximum of 1 travelling unit plus 1 additional person. This will hopefully be removed soon. The hot tubs do run on a cycle, so you do need to press the button to keep the bubbles going, and you are recommended to only be in the hot tub for 15 minutes at a time, but many people just use that as guidance rather than a rule. There are a few bars around here serving the main menu of drinks, and these are open most of the time. Now before entering the buffet, one thing I do want to bring your attention to is there's this lovely little juice bar. So they sell water and things like that, but also fresh juices. These are not included in the main dining package, or the drinks package shall I say, only in the ultimate one. But they are available for $3 if you want to buy them at additional cost. There's also a station out here for your coffees, waters and teas and juices. That's available most of the time as well. Now, if you hear one thing over and over again on a Norwegian cruise, it will be the term washy washy. So you do need to make sure you wash your hands before you're going into the buffet, and then you'll be given a plate and a bowl, and you'll be able to go around the buffet and get all of the things you like. There's multiple sections, they are repeated a couple of times and mirrored on the other side, just to make sure everybody can get to what they want. The buffet not doing it for you at night? How about trying some of the amazing specialty restaurants? On deck 8, we have both Cagney's, the steakhouse, and Moderno Churrascaria, which is your Brazilian steakhouse where they serve you unlimited meats brought round to your table and a huge buffet selection. These specialty dinings are about $39 per person and have some amazing food. We tried Cagney's on this cruise. We did not try the Churrascaria, but I have seen so many pictures and saw lots of people enjoying it on our cruise. For some people who have been asking, yes, the waterfront is fully open, and for those not knowing what the waterfront is, it's a Deck 8 specialty. Around Deck 8, you can actually walk around and have outdoor seating for all of the venues on board, such as Cagney's, but also Moderno, La Cucina, Ocean Blue, and some of the bars like Sugarcane. If you're anything like me and have a sweet tooth, the greatest thing to find on Deck 8 is the bake shop. Oh yes, the bake shop gives a lot of choice of cupcakes, both in a big size and a small size, and little chocolates, as well as ice creams from the gelato bar, which can be accessed from outside on the waterfront. As you can see, it was closed when I was filming this, but it is open most days, 12 till 6. I believe that is the permanent time, but we did find one day it did seem to close early for some reason. Now, the gelato comes in small or large sizes, and we found that sharing a small was perfectly fine. It's quite a lot, and you do eat plenty on a cruise. Now, I mentioned before that all of the major venues on Deck 8 have these outdoor seating areas on the waterfront, but one thing I really like and I think gets unmentioned is the fact that each of them are themed to the location. So you'll find that the seating, tables and the decor for each little area is unique. So as we head back into Deck 8, we see La Cucina on the inside as well. This is the Italian restaurant. I had a great meal here. It was really good and exceeded all my expectations. On the left, we've got Sid Norman's Poorhouse, where they do joke around on the outside saying that the soup of the day is beer. This is a place to go for your beers and things like that. Outside here is also the Sunset Bar. This is just a nice relaxing bar I found. There wasn't many events here. It was more a case of just sit here, have a drink and have a chat with your friends or your family. Also located here is the Humidor Cigar Lounge. You can purchase and smoke cigars here, which is really unusual I found. Maybe I'm wrong, but I haven't seen many ships that have a cigar lounge like this. Continuing around then, we do go around this lovely chandelier on Deck 8, which goes all the way down through Deck 7 and Deck 6. Here we have the Sugarcane Mojito Bar. This has a unique menu of mojitos, but you can get other things here as well, and the mojitos are amazing. Here the Sky Vodka Ice Bar, at an extra charge, allows you to go in with your big puffy coats and enjoy a unique bar experience where everything's made of ice, and the vodka is amazing. At the Sugarcane Mojito Bar, there are generally performers in the evening who will be playing some Latin music, which is great. And as you head across the opposite side, you get some of the other specialty restaurants. The Raw Bar serves raw delights such as oysters and such. Ocean Blue, a bit of a more upmarket seafood restaurant. This is a sit-down specialty and does have a bit more of an advanced dress code. You do need to be a little bit dressy for this place. Wasabi Sushi, we did eat here and it was absolutely incredible. Really good cocktails as well. They do serve the same cocktails as you can get in teppanyaki, which were some of the best drinks we had on board. Shopping is as expected. You have the typical place where you can buy watches, jewellery, you can buy clothing, you can buy perfumes, things like that. One thing to note is, at least for this sailing, there were big signs everywhere saying that there was no liquor and no tobacco on sale on this cruise. Whether that's because of COVID, because of Europe restrictions, I don't know, but it was something that was very much notable. One interesting thing I find about Norwegian, at least on this ship, is that not only do they have the two main dining rooms available for you, they also have a third dining room, which is a little bit more of an upmarket feel. There is no extra dress code really, but I did find that most people were dressy in the Tropicana room. The difference was this was dinner with live music and sometimes dancing. First we enter deck 7. On the left we have bar 21, which is a bar which you can gamble at, and on the right we have Shanghai's Noodle Bar. This is complimentary and is only available during the dinner service, which I was a little bit disappointed in because I think if this was available at lunch, it would be really successful and I would definitely have been here more than once. Sadly, it just couldn't compare with other options, so I didn't end up eating here at evenings. Then you enter the casino. This is one of the largest casinos I've seen at sea, and it's very much something that you find commonly on US ships compared to the UK. Americans seem to love their gambling a lot more than British guests, and as such, there are lots of different machines and tables, but it did seem quite quiet on this cruise. Here, the Bliss Lounge is where a lot of the trivia contests were held, but it's also a bar as well. As we get to this area of Deck 7, we meet Oceans. This is the Irish pub and grill. It's also a bar on board. This is the 24-hour-a-day location for food and drink. So it's open at all hours and they serve a special menu for late night. They also serve breakfast. Now, controversial opinion, but I found Oceans incredibly disappointing. We ate here a couple of times. First time to give it a try and the second time to see if the first was a fluke. But unfortunately, the food just wasn't up to our standards. We don't have particularly high standards, we just felt that the food was very okay. There was nothing that stood out, and the service was a bit poor as well. So, a bit disappointing, and if I was you, I would just skip it and get food from the buffet. There's a small area for the box office at the Getaway Theatre. This is a place you can go to sign up for reservations for some of the shows, and also on either side is the entrances to the theatre for when you're going to the shows at night. Do be aware, the earlier show tends to be very, very busy. The after show, which is about 9:30, sometimes later, is usually a lot quieter, and we found sometimes half empty. Now, a unique location on board Norwegian ships is the Illusionarium. Here on Getaway, the Illusionarium is very much themed like a house of curiosities, and the show on board currently is Junk. This is a show where musicians are using only items found in a junkyard to make music. It's a dinner theatre show, so you are getting a 3-course meal, and you can use your dining package for this event, which is really good, as I didn't think you could before boarding. As well as some meeting rooms, which are used sometimes for weddings and events, there's also a card room where you can go and play board games, play cards, and even take out books from the library. Sadly, due to COVID, the games and books are locked away because they can't be sanitised after every use quite easily, but hopefully this will be back to normal soon for you to get your nice relaxing on. Fancy making some memories to take home? Perspectives Photography Studio is available, where professional photographers can do a photo shoot for you and your family to give you professional photos to take home. Just outside there is the Internet Cafe. Now, most of us do use our own devices now, but for those of you who don't have a smartphone or just feel like using a computer, you can do that here, and the manager has hours here for anything like printing or any help. Behind that, we have a full-service Starbucks. That's right, it's not a cafe that serves Starbucks, it is an actual full Starbucks. And for US guests, you can actually use your Starbucks app here and get loyalty points. As well as that, we have a full bar and a screen here, which is really useful. During port days, the screen scrolls through information about the port, how to do it on your own, and some excursions that are available, as well as giving you some highlights to look out for in port. We found this really useful for some of the ports that we hadn't been to before, learning things about the history and the location. As we head further back here, again, underneath the beautiful Chandelier, you have the entrances to Le Bistro, which is the French specialty dining restaurant. Very, very nice looking. Unfortunately, one of our party just didn't find anything on the menu that he would enjoy, and so we skipped this one. Headliners, which is the comedy club, was not used for any comedy while we were aboard, but instead had a lot of live music, which was great. We also have the art gallery, which I really liked the way that they did this. Instead of it being a room, it's just displayed as you walk through deck 6, which was really nice. Here, teppanyaki, brilliant restaurant. We ate here and had an amazing time. Our chef was great. One little tip for you is this does sell out quite a lot. However, on sea days only, it is open for lunch, and we found it was very quiet. So I think a lot of people are unaware that it opens at lunch, and you can have bookings at 12, 12:15, 12:30 and 1, so that you can have your teppanyaki at lunch, and you can use your package for that. If not, it's $39 per person. One handy tip is main dining room menus are displayed outside the main dining room every day. In the morning, it will show the breakfast menu, but after breakfast finished, it will then revert to the evening menu, so you can plan what you're going to eat or decide if you choose a specialty restaurant instead. This is an often overlooked little section of the ship. Not only does it have a model of the ship, but these plaques are really interesting. Every time a new ship comes to a port for the first time, it is given a plaque by that port to celebrate, and they are all displayed here. It's an amazing show of history and where the Getaway has been. Savour and Taste are your two main dining rooms here, and separating them in the middle is Mix, which is a little cocktail bar. Now, my only sadness here is that Mix did not have its own menu. I felt that it would really specialise by having a proper mixology menu of special cocktails unique to Mix. This is something that I think would really help and make the place very, very special, especially when you consider things like carnivals, the Alchemy Bar. I think it would really benefit from that. Back in the main atrium then, as we go on the left here, we have a few desks. We have guest services, we have an onboard credit desk for anything to do with your onboard credit, and we also have shore excursions desk as well. One interesting thing we did have as well was a little section for dining. Now this was for is if you wanted to make dining reservations, you could go up there and do that, and they had a copy of every menu for every dining room aboard, so you could have a quick browse, decide what you want and make your reservations there without having to use an app. For those of you who like to disconnect from your phones while aboard, don't worry, you can still use some technology. These screens are throughout the ship and will allow you to see what's going on, look at some dining, which will show you the queues and how busy everything is, and allow you to even press the map it button to find something on board if you don't know where it is. It'll tell you the route from where you are now to how to get there. Really, really helpful, and we found this useful. Thanks so much for joining me on my ship tour. I hope it was really useful for you. Leave some comments below or any questions and I'll get back to you soon.